What's up, everybody? Thanks for listening to the Whatcast. What's crack-a-lackin', Mike?
Probably just my knees and back and hips.
Oh, hips too? Good gravy.
Yeah, that's what happens when you reach my venerable old age.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be soon.
Oh, you're gonna tell everybody that? You want me to beep that and let them guess?
You can beep and let them guess.
All right.
That's how old I'm gonna be. I believe you're gonna be that age as well, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When I got older, I grew to hate my birthday. So there's been literally times where I've had to look at my wife and go, how old am I? And I had to do that recently, and I was like, oh, God, don't say that.
Yeah. How dare you, miss? Yeah, no, it's, I don't really care. I know a lot of people freak out, but I don't give a shit. Whatever. Bring it on. 70's right around the corner, and then, I'll maybe, if I'm lucky, be able to retire because the system sucks. And that's about it.
Huh.
Yeah. So as bleak as depressing as this ended up becoming, we've got non-bleak and non-depressing things. Perhaps even hopeful things, I guess, depending on your point of view.
Yeah, I came across something by chance that I don't know, outer space. Space is cool. We all learn about that as a kid growing up. Studying UFOs, you read about space, but I mean, from now to when we were kids, I mean, NASA stuff has come to a screeching halt. So, I mean, there's not that much to look forward to as far as new things. They announce things once in a while, but I came across a few things that kind of scared me a bit. Do you find space scary, Mike?
Well, what do you mean? Like the concept of space or like being in space?
Being in space.
No. Why would that? Like, I mean, I suppose if I was like floating in space with no possibility of coming back, but then I don't know, maybe I would just accept it at that point. No, I wouldn't say that I feel that I'm scared of space.
It wasn't an added factor of fear for you, an alien?
No, not at all.
God damn it, it sure was for me.
It was more the idea of isolation, like the same way that Jaws was. Like you're isolated. There's nowhere you can go. It had nothing to do with the fact that it was space. It was just the fact that you're isolated. Like you are trapped on the spaceship with this thing. Like where the fuck are you gonna go? You're in space.
See, I was talking to my wife about this before we started, and she said I would consider it like the ocean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but to me, I was like, no, we've cataloged millions of species and animals in the fucking ocean. Although it's like mostly unexplored, in space we don't know anything about what's out there. And there's a couple articles that I came across that almost make me uncomfortable with what the fuck they're doing.
What do you mean by uncomfortable? What's going on, Mateo?
I don't know if you remember a while ago. It's 2006 actually, but they launched this interplanetary space probe called the New Horizon. And when they launched it, they said it was going to hit Pluto, and I was stoked about it. But when they quickly said that it would take probably 15 years, I was like, what? Fuck you. And I got mad and never paid attention to it. But
fuck off.
I'm going to be dead in 15 years. But it did its job. In 2015, they found a formation in the Kuiper Belt on June 26, 2014. And it's a formation. There's actually a name for these things that are found in the Kuiper Belt. They're called Kuiper Belt objects. I don't know if it's because they couldn't tell exactly what it is or it's just a categorization they have. But, NASA launched that probe, and they estimated that this object had been floating around out there for 4.5 billion years. And just something that old alone is like unnerving. It just makes me think of like some Lovecraftian outer god floating around.
isn't that the estimated age of our solar system?
Yes. In 2019, they were able to take photos of this thing.
How big is it?
I think they said it was like 157 mile circumference. It's got a weird oblong shape. It looks like two giant spherical asteroids collided and stuck together. Yeah, not a massive thing, but just to give you guys an idea of where the Kuiper Belt is, and this is what made me uncomfortable about it. They found this thing 1 billion miles past Pluto. And I can't help but get an overwhelming sense of you're going into somebody else's yard when you're talking about 1 billion fucking miles past Pluto.
Yeah, you might be encroaching on someone else's territory at that point. Like, do they still include that part of our solar system? Or is it just like this rogue planet that's floating out there, looming?
What, Pluto or this thing? It's called MU69 is the name of this object.
That guy.
I don't know. There's another case that I'm going to talk about to where they reference something else. They have a different term for it, but they just call this thing a Kuiper Belt object because apparently there's a few of them now because they've gone past the billion miles point and they said they're going to continue on through the Kuiper Belt and beyond. This rock is really cool, but the search team leader Ellen Stern said, this is historic. We're 1 billion miles past Pluto and continuing. And that's, to me, that's like the edge of the fucking our galaxy sounding, man. That sounds fucking scary. But they got the pictures of it. It looks just like an asteroid to me, but I don't know if they consider it a planet at all. I don't think so.
So maybe a planetoid, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe the core of another planet, or formerly known as planet.
Yeah, I like that one.
But just that idea, man, I know it's just a probe, but just wait till we get to the point in time to where we can send people that far. That would be like a punishment. I would never do that. That would be absolutely horrifying. And I don't think I feel comfortable with them sending shit that deep into space. They better be playing some fucking music saying that we're cool and we're not here to kill you or anything like that.
Yeah. Just fly out there playing fucking Bohemian Rhapsody. And that's let that be the emissary from Earth.
Maybe something with a little bit more jolliness to it. What about that yodeling techno song?
Yeah. No, maybe that is a little too melancholy at the beginning to really put asses in seats. They might not give it a good shot. What's another really good one that you can blast out into the ether and be like, "Hey, we're cool, guys."
The Superman theme song?
Ooh, that's a good one. Or the 90s X-Men theme song.
Yes. That's not too aggressive. It's too catchy.
It is. It's super catchy, and it's the perfect music for a space mission. and I think that other species would be like, "Oh, look at this cute thing. They're testing out interstellar travel and listen to the theme song. It's awesome." And then they'll appreciate it and they'll be like, "You know what? Let's go check these guys out cuz that's some good music right there."
I hope to God in the future interstellar spaceships have external PA systems for this purpose.
Just blasting X-Men in space.
Yeah.
Love it.
But I mean, isn't that shocking to you? 1 billion miles past Pluto. I mean, did you realize that they were sending shit that fucking...
No, I remember hearing about them sending something. I don't know if it's the same thing or not because I don't remember the name of the mission, but they said they launched it in like the 70s and it just left our solar system a few years ago.
What?
Yeah, it had gone further than anything that we had ever sent ever, and we're like, "Oh shit. It's going outside of our solar system now."
God, what if they just find some goddamn gargantuan eyeball, like it passes some cloudy formation, just boom, I mean,
just a mouth. It just flies into a mouth and that's it.
Yeah, like we were talking with Chris in the Hangout about these people who make these ghost videos or these ghost hunters or explorers and stuff like that. Anytime something happens, they cut the fuck out and they run. And I think that's partially due is because they don't really want to run into what they're looking for. And I kind of get that feeling when you're talking about 1 billion miles past fucking Pluto. I'm not sure I want to know what the hell they find. I'm sure they're not going to tell us.
I do.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to really tell you if there's a giant floating obelisk and it's like, you've mocked my children?
They're going to tell me about the fucking literal biblical angels, those creepy monstrosities with all the eyes and wings and faces.
Gosh, but to me that's just almost terrifying to think about that far out into space. I mean, it's interesting. I want to see too, but just thinking about that lonely probe bleeping through the cold, dead space, like, whoa, man, no thank you. In Alien, them being in space definitely was a factor for me as far as being scarier. I mean, even like Event Horizon, they did a good job of some really outside shots to remind you that they too were pretty much the furthest reaches of space anybody had traveled in that film, right?
I don't remember. It's been a very long time since I've seen that movie. I just remember they went through a portal through hell.
Well,
but I don't remember really what the deal was.
Yeah, it was something like that. They had a new way of traveling, and it was through folding space and time, I guess. I remember him getting a piece of paper and drawing 2 dots on the end of the paper and saying, what's the quickest way?
Yeah, the classic explanation.
But he just folds the paper. But I guess that's what that ship had done when distress signal was received. And I guess within that trip, it went to a hellish dimension. But
it's like Nightcrawler.
Yeah, exactly. What if you run into something like that in space?
This weird vortex that takes you to hell.
Exactly. Ugh. And you only find that shit 1,000,000,001 miles past Pluto.
1 mile to go, buddy.
Yeah, they're going to start sending pictures back and you're just going to see these tentacles as big as Jupiter start wrapping around it.
Creepy.
Yeah, I'd be like, nothing, there was nothing, it crashed.
Yeah.
Don't.
You know what? Nope. Life is meaningless. I give up.
Yeah. Imagine being the operator or researcher seeing that feed. I would just turn off my monitor, grab my jacket, get my car keys, go home, turn on the TV.
Drive off a cliff. I have seen the face of the inevitable. There's no point to life.
We cannot fight what's coming.
Yep. Just feed yourself to the animals. Take me now. I'm sorry. Meanwhile, the cow is looking at you like, dude, I don't even eat meat. Make an exception today, cow.
For the sake of resting my soul and my misery of knowing.
Yeah. It's the only way. Free me of this burden, cow.
Well, another cool thing I came across was, I don't know, an asteroid, a comet, maybe an alien base called Niku. Niku translates to mischievous or rebellious.
Oh, so it's a cheeky little devil.
Yeah, and you'll see why. It was discovered May 31st, 2011 by researchers at the Mount Lemmon Observatory located in the Coronado National Forest in New Mexico. It's a celestial body that orbits Neptune. It's not too giant. It's 125 miles in diameter. But as researchers watched the comet, things got real weird real quick. And tracking and forecasting the object's trajectory showed that its orbit was on a plane that was tilted 110 degrees from the rest of everything else in the solar system. And it was also orbiting Neptune in reverse.
What?
Yeah.
In reverse?
Yeah, complete retrograde, going backwards. Now, as weird as that seems, they had seen this before, but in only one case. In 2008, the Mauna Kea Observatory in Hawaii discovered an asteroid orbiting Neptune backwards with a tilted plane of 103 degrees. And they named that asteroid Drac after Count Dracula. Because everybody's seen the pictures of the solar system and how it's like this tilted plate with these circular discs that shows the path the planets follow. When you do that with Drac, I mean, it just goes almost up and down, and it's a reference to him being able to walk up the walls. But when the researchers at the Lemon Place remembered Drac, they got curious, and they decided to investigate how many asteroids are flying around backwards and on a different path than everything else. And for that, they turned to the Center for Minor Planets. Believe it or not, there's a place that catalogs all these things. Now, I don't know, you asked earlier, I don't know if this catalogs things that are too big to not be categorized as a planet or a minor planet, as it states, or they're just super big asteroids. I don't know, but that's what it's called. And they checked their database, and they found that there were 4 other objects that had tilted backwards orbits.
Are they all around Neptune?
Some are near Neptune, and some are near Jupiter, and there's one that's even further away. Well, the real weird thing that they discovered is when compared to Niku and Drac, all 6 odd tilted orbits seem to match. They're actually aligned.
So it's got to be a reason for it then.
Yeah, and a couple things that I read about and watched some videos on is they talk about something that I'm not too familiar with. And when we talk about moving celestial bodies like that, we always talked about Planet X. It's supposed to be a giant planet that's it's in our solar system, but its trajectory path is so huge that it comes once every, whatever they say, 15,000 years, and it's going to come close to our planet. And when they started talking about that shit, even like on Ancient Aliens, they just, Neil deGrasse Tyson type shit, talking about it doesn't need to hit us. If it comes anywhere close to us, it's so much bigger. Its gravitational pull will destroy our planet. And that's kind of what it takes to move these things. And somebody had mentioned the theory that these things were thrown off their natural path by the gravitational pull of something massive. And they think that something massive might be something called Planet 9. Now, I don't know shit about that. What the fuck is Planet 9?
Well, so for a while, there's been the idea that there's this other planet out there. And I don't know if you remember when we were kids, but the big thing was Planet X. And it was like the mysterious Planet X. And
yeah.
It was the subject of a lot of sci-fi stories and sci-fi movies and cartoons and all that shit, Planet X. But Planet X, that was more just a theory. It was put out there by these guys, William Pickering and Percival Lowell. And this was back in the late 1800s, and they were looking into this planet that would be, and this was also before Pluto was even discovered. And they were trying to, they had this idea that Uranus has they noticed a different orbit than other planets. So they were trying to figure out why it had this orbit. And their theory was that there's this larger planet called Planet X out there. And they were trying to take pictures of it, and they were never able to capture it. Ironically, though, while they were trying to discover Planet X, they did have pictures of Pluto, but they didn't notice at the time that they had captured Pluto. But in this case, it was called Planet X, not because X is the Roman numeral for 10, but because X that was the variable. So it's like planet variable. But this Planet 9 actually, there's some science behind this. It's been theorized since 2014, but in 2016, these two associate professors at Caltech named Konstantin Batygin and Michael Brown, based on some observations they made, they suggested that there was a large planet that would be roughly 10 times the size of Earth. They said between 5 and 10 times the size of Earth. It was out beyond Pluto even, and it was so far out, and its orbit was so elliptical that it would take 15,000 years to orbit the sun.
Oh, wow.
And so they've been trying to get pictures of this, but they haven't been able to really find any pictures. So at this point, it seems more theoretical, but in their opinion, there is a lot of evidence to support the idea that there is one, that there is a planet out there. But there's different ideas on what this could be. Some theories say that it could be a planet that was pulled in from outside of our solar system. Then there's other theories that say it may just be one that kind of it's working its way out of the sun's orbit. There's an idea that it could be a rogue planet, I guess. That's just it doesn't have a home of its own. Just kind of meanders through the galaxy, and then it got absorbed into ours, and maybe with each rotation around the sun, it gets pulled in closer and closer and closer, and eventually some 8 billion years from now, it's going to start fucking up our solar system and crashing into stuff and creating catastrophes.
Holy shit, that would be insane if scientists just report.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, dude. Scientists just report one day that there's this ungodly explosion in outer space and they can't tell what it is, and a week later they're like, Pluto is gone. Something destroyed Pluto, and then the next planet gets destroyed and they can finally start looking in at it. It's like 3 times the size of the sun, just barreling towards the center of the galaxy. No.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Screw this orbit bullshit. I'm just coming right for you, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be scary. But the weird thing about this is, well, I guess the weirdly coincidental thing, if you are a Ancient Aliens conspiracy theorist, but the whole Annunaki thing with the planet Nibiru being like the home for the Annunaki, and it's going to come back around again. And I believe they said, the proponents of this theory, and I could be wrong because it's been a while since I was really
flipping on the History Channel,
the Ancient Aliens thing. Yeah. I believe that their thing was it was like 12,000 years that its orbit took. So, you know, it's still pretty close. 15,000 years, 12,000 years. Maybe it's Nibiru, and the Annunaki are coming back.
Yeah, what if with every rotation it's not moving away, it's coming closer, and they're going to want to take shit over? What if it just starts flying like a giant spaceship, dude?
Well, yeah, what if it is a giant spaceship? You know, it's lingering back there, and it's like they mined enough shit when they were here last time to last however many thousand years they need, and then they're like, all right, we're getting low on supplies, time to make another Earth run. And then, you know, they hop in their massive star vehicle and fly back to Earth, where they then come back down and be like, hey people, we are your gods. People are like, fuck you.
Yeah, what if they come back and they're like, holy shit, look at them, they've like built little things.
Yeah. They're still idiots, though, is what they would say, because we are idiots.
Now, do you think with developments, stuff like the Space Force, I mean, that seems like that's going to be an incredibly local type of thing. Do you think they're going to run into anything weird once they get that up and running? How long do you think it takes till they find a roaming vortex portal?
I think they created them to prevent the Nibiru cataclysm, which is another weird thing that is alleged to be happening, or it was supposed to have already happened twice, I believe. But yeah, it's this planet that's gonna fucking kill us all. But it was first brought to the world by a woman named Nancy Leader, or maybe it's Leader. Nancy Leader. And she was an alien contactee, and she was contacted by extraterrestrials from the Zeta Reticuli star system because, of course, and they put an implant in her brain so they could communicate with her at any given time. And they basically told her that she was the chosen one to spread the word to mankind of this horrible event that was going to happen to destroy us all. And what would happen was this huge planet object would go flying through our solar system in 2003, but it would create a pole shift that would destroy most of humanity. But this date was later communicated to her that they were postponing it because it was inconvenient for them, or maybe something.
The Super Bowl was on that weekend.
Well, you see, what really happened, in my opinion, is that the whole Mayan calendar thing really started to take hold of people. That started to become popular as 2012 was nearing. And she's like, you know what? No, it was postponed until 2012, and that's when the pole shift is going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we're all fucked at that point. But here we are in 2021, and still no crashes. But then there was this Christian numerologist who said that there was going to be the same event that this woman described, but it would occur on September 23rd, 2017. And, again, here we are. So clearly that didn't happen. I was really rooting for that comet that was a near miss on election day. I feel like that would have been a perfect day to just do it, but missed opportunity, I suppose.
Absolutely. Everybody would have looked up to the sky and went, of course.
Yeah. If only, but we're not that lucky, guys. But I don't know. I think I like that these wacky conspiracy theories are now kind of tying to this hypothesis of this planet that's out there.
That's true.
And now that we don't have Pluto, I wouldn't mind a ninth planet, so long as it's not gonna, destroy all creation and bring evil aliens to our doorstep.
What do you think those people's fucking problem is? For real, these cats who are gonna write some type of prediction for something like a fucking global
it's
polar
attention
shift?
like
Yeah, but it's like they don't do it for like 3725 when he can't be held accountable. It's like in 4 years.
Yeah, and that's the weirdest thing. Like when I almost feel like these people are actually delusional.
Yeah, it has to be. They have to be, dude. That's exactly what I think. There's some type of delusion of notoriety that's worth looking like an asshole in 4 years.
Because a lot of these people that have the that claim to be contactees, they all kind of have the same message, but it's always from a different person. And it almost, I don't know, it does seem like it's delusional, because I've got to think it's more than just adults playing Let's Pretend.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you get the groups of when they're like feeding off each other and be like, oh my God, and then this happened to me, and oh my God, that happened to me too. And then it's like, you guys you're adults playing pretend, and that's what you're doing. Stop it. Stop playing pretend, adults. Unless you're hanging out with kids, then you can play pretend. But don't play pretend and pretend things like fucking alien communication telling you about the end of the world when none of that's happening and you're just delusional. Cut the shit.
Yeah, when it comes to those people predicting things, I mean, kind of historically, it's always fucking cuckoo birds doing that shit, right?
Or phonies.
Yeah.
Or people that just really like poetry And then people later be like, hey, this poetry really means this event that happened right now. What was that guy's name again?
Who, me? Nostradamus is my name.
That's the one.
I tried to avoid it, but I was sucked right in. I had to do it. Sorry, everybody.
You should be sorry you didn't do it sooner.
So what would be worst case scenario for you if they find something even stranger than stuff like this in outer space?
Worst case scenario for me is that Space Force is really reptilians that are being launched into space to eventually kill us all. That's worst case scenario.
It's just a massive off-world seeding so they can build forces out there.
It's just like, hey, we've got Space Force, and then nobody questions all the spaceships going into space. But really, they're not people on those spaceships.
Right, yeah.
They're those goddamn reptilians.
They're like, you don't look at the sky anymore. We got the fucking sky. Look at your iPhones. No need to look in outer space anymore.
And even if you do look up, it's the Space Force.
Right.
So, nothing to be worried about. It's just the Space Force doing Space Force shit.
Oh shit. I think we need to write a Space Force song. A theme song for the Space Force.
It's the Space Force. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think they'll find some type of weird edge of the universe shit at some point in time? Or do you think this... I mean, how long is
they
this?
Just keep going, and then it's like they ran out of paint, and then it's just like this white, just this white void, and you're like, didn't see that coming. And it's gonna be like sudden. You're not gonna see it coming. You're just cruising through space, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this must be the end of space.
Yeah, like the classic bumping into the edge of a fishbowl.
No, not even that. You just float through the white, and you're just floating through it, and there's no way to know how far you've gone, or even if you're moving. It's just there's just white, empty space. Maybe.
I just don't want some like brutal war race of aliens to like trace the probe's proton trail or something like that.
Yeah. We're like sending this stuff out thinking like oh, this is good stuff, like we're gonna find out a bunch of stuff. And then this other race picks up our thing, and they're like, those fucking assholes, don't they know what they're doing? And we're like polluting space with whatever we're using because we're so primitive and shitty, and we're basically sending bags of shit into someone else's yard.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Like, why do they hate us? They just throw bags of shit over here. At least we're not lighting them on fire.
That's my point, dude. I don't think we should be taking pictures that deep into space. Why don't they like study Saturn a little bit? Once you stick around the neighborhood before you...
Yeah, let's check out Europa and see if there's anything living under the ice on Europa.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see wanting to get out of the because like what's beyond the solar system? What's out there? Like I'm curious what's at the bottom of the fucking ocean. What's going on there?
Yeah, exactly.
There's plenty of areas we don't know what's there, and I want to know what's there.
We've talked many times about people being ready or not being ready to be able to receive the information of extraterrestrial life, or our government having dealings with them and them always being here, and how that would affect them in their mind, and it could even jar people's perceptions of religion and creation and stuff like that. That I think people are ready for that now, but do you think they're ready to find some type of, let's just say, some all-being celestial creature out there that possibly could be, quote, God or something like that?
I don't think you're gonna find a physical being that would be a god, but what do I know? I'm just some asshole on Earth who's barely even left the country.
What if it's some kick-ass Jack Kirby-like thing, like a giant purple cloud that has green lightning and a pair of like sandaled legs that stick out of it, and it's holding like a giant staff.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I would like it to be some wacky off the wall thing that like your mind can barely comprehend. Like,
Yeah.
like it looks like if you were to hold up a dodecahedron and that was made of mirrors and light and hold it up in front of a circle of mirrors while shining light on those mirrors and spinning the dodecahedron and shooting a fog machine through the whole thing.
What would people do? What would people do if NASA just publishes photos of a giant cloud man or some type of geometrical mass that's shooting out?
Yeah, they like try to take a picture of it and you can't. It's just so abstract. Taking a picture of it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
you look at the photograph, you're like, I can't even tell what that is.
Dude, that's a good point. What if they find something like that and they can't even document it?
Yeah, you try to document it and it's just like it makes no sense. Your mind can't register what it is. It's just chaos.
Yeah, even the camera can't. It's just a white screen, no matter what. No matter how many times they adjust it, it's just either black or white.
Or static or a blur.
Yeah.
Or maybe they do take a picture of it and it's just so absurd that looking at it, you can't comprehend what it is. And no one is able to really decipher the picture, even though it's perfectly crystal clear in HD.
Yeah. Dude.
It's just madness. Your mind turns to jello.
Fuck ghost glasses, dude. What if they make space glasses and they go out past the Kuiper Belt and they just put them on and it's just like the ocean. There's just things swimming all over the place and alien truck stops and diners and shit.
I want an outer space version of the Boo Buddy.
Oh, God.
It'll be like, instead of a bear, it'll be like Chewbacca, and you just kind of put it inside your spacecraft, and it tells you if there's any aliens out there by saying it's cold.
By saying it's cold. You wouldn't reprogram it to be like alien entity nearby. I'm scared.
It would say I'm cold, and I'd be like, oh shit, there's aliens. I'm fucked.
Are you sure it's not ghosts? No, this is the space Boo Buddy, bro. We're in trouble.
Yeah. Notice how it's Chewbacca and not a bear anymore. It looks like you just cut the ears off and wrapped your belt around its chest. It's fucking Chewy. Shut up. It's my space Boo Buddy. It's not even a Boo Buddy. It's a space buddy.
Can't you see his bandolier? God damn it.
Thank you for listening to the Whatcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. Enjoy the podcast. Get yourself a Whatcast t-shirt or a sticker pack. Who was that dude on that one episode? Try the links in Homie's page. All this and more can be found at www.thewhatcasters.com. Thanks again for listening and have a great week.